Hello everyone! In the last episode, we saw the expansion of both Shimazu and Chosokabe clans, the death of Takeda clan, and Mitsuhide's betrayal that ended with the death of Oda Nobunaga. In this episode, we'll see the aftermath of Mitsuhide's betrayal. Mitsuhide knew that once Nobunaga is dead, his former commanders will lose no time and try and get their hands on the power. Considering this, his first move was to send a messenger to Mori Terumoto and convince him to crush Toyotomi Hideyoshi with the promise that once Hideyoshi is dead, Mori clan will gain rewards, territory and status, allowing them to rule the West as they please. The offer, though, never reached Mori Terumoto, as the messenger failed, being intercepted and captured by a samurai under the command of Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Hideyoshi was infuriated by the news of his master's death and Mitsuhide's betrayal. He was made a samurai by Nobunaga. He owed him everything that he became, and he will not stand idle. The death of his lord was something that he was bound to avenge. Hideyoshi's first move was to make peace with Mori under one single condition. They had to hand him over the Takamatsu castle, and Shimazu Muneharu, who had valiantly defended it, was to die. Mori agreed with the terms. Hideyoshi sat on a hill watching how Shimizu Muneharu was committing seppuku on a boat in front of the Takamatsu castle that was flooded during the siege. The Oda territory falls now under the influence of three former commanders: Mitsuhide, that controlled Yamashiro, Omi and Tamba; Hideyoshi, that controlled Inaba, Tajima, Harima, Setsu and Kawachi; and Shibata Katsuie, that controlled the northeast. Hideyoshi managed to gather on his side more samurai than Mitsuhide in a very short time, so he was already outnumbering him after only 5 days since Nobunaga's death. On 1st of July 1582, Mitsuhide marched to face Hideyoshi before he grows too much in numbers. The battle will take place at Yamazaki, where Mitsuhide had a better defensive position on the hill. The strategic mind of Hideyoshi and the bigger numbers outplayed Mitsuhide's defensive position, starting with a night ride, then crippled his forces and continuing with a full flank attack the next day. Mitsuhide was defeated and ran desperately with his horse, trying to hide in the nearest village. For his surprise though, in the village a group of bandits were waiting for scavenging the field after the Battle of Yamazaki. When they saw Mitsuhide alone, they stormed him and killed him. His son, Akechi Hiremitsu, escaped the battle too, and he rushed to his father's castle. There, he and his loyal samurai dutifully killed the wives and the family of Mitsuhide before burning the castle to the ground and killing themselves. After only 13 days since Nobunaga's death, Hideyoshi avenged him. In 1583, Hideyoshi marched to Shizugatake to solve the remaining conflict with Shibata Katsuie. The two armies clashed in a brutal melee frenzy. In this savage battle, many famous samurai made an appearance for the first time under the command of Hideyoshi. Kato Kiyomasa, Fukushima Masanori, Hirano Nagayasu, Kasuya Takanori, Katagiri Katsumoto, Kato Yoshiaki, and Wakizaka Yasuharu. They will forever be known as the 7 Spears of Shizugatake. In time, Shibata Katsue lost the brutal and savage battle of Shizugatake, retreating back in Ekizen and committing seppuku alongside his family. Meanwhile, in the east, Hojo found out about the death of Nobunaga and immediately started a campaign to expand, pushing first into Kai province. Tokugawa, though, took this as an opportunity and engaged in battle with Hojo to gain the territory for himself, obtaining Kai and Shinano provinces. After consolidating the power, Hideyoshi set his base at Ishiyama Honganji, the fortress that was in ruin after the 10 years siege under Nobunaga. He constructed his castle on the top of the remains, and from now on it will be known as Osaka. His next move was to send invitations to Mori, Uesugi and Tokugawa, expecting them to come to Osaka and to pledge their loyalty to him. Both Uesugi and Mori accepted, thus entering under Hideyoshi's banner. Tokugawa, on the other hand, refused. He chose to stand against Hideyoshi alongside with Nobukatsu, the last living son of Nobunaga. Hideyoshi gathered his army and marched to face Tokugawa and Nobukatsu. The battle will take place in 1584 at Komaki Nagakute. Hideyoshi had over 40,000 men under his command, while Tokugawa and Nobukatsu combined had 18,000. Tokugawa knew that he must stay in defensive position due to the difference in numbers, so he built an impressive line of fortifications. Hideyoshi avoided a full assault, considering the impressive defensive network of Tokugawa, so he ordered his forces to build its own defensive network of castles and palisades. A long stalemate set in as both sides just sat and waited. After a long wait and few minor clashes, both sides agreed to end the conflict, trading hostages and exchanging few castles. They both realized that this conflict is way too costly to continue. It will take 2 more years for Tokugawa Ieyasu to come to Osaka and pledge his loyalty to Hideyoshi in 1586, when Ieyasu married Hideyoshi's sister to seal the alliance for good. Now, the man that was born a commoner have become the one to control the central power in Japan. His ambition was now to unite the remaining provinces under his banner. After destroying the remaining Ikoiki forces in the south, he sent his forces to crush Chosokabe clan due to the fact that Motochika Chosokabe took the bad decision to support Tokugawa in the previous battle of Komaki Nagakute. In less than a month, the entire island of Shikoku was under Hideyoshi's command. The next target was the Kyushu island. This time, Hideyoshi knew it won't be as easy as it was with the Chosokabe clan. Shimazu clan was not just strong, but they also had technological advancement due to the trade with the external powers. Hideyoshi also found the pretext when Otomo Sorin asked desperately for help against Shimazu. Hideyoshi accepted the offer and sent word to Shimazu to cease fire against the Otomo clan. Shimazu leader responded with insults, thus giving Hideyoshi the perfect pretext to start the invasion. The invasion of Kyushu has started, but even though at first it looked like the combined army of Otomo and Hideyoshi was winning, the Shimazu army was in fact feign retreating, so it can turn back and flank with an aggressive attack. The Shimazu war machine drove the enemy back into the sea, into an unexpected crushing defeat. Meanwhile, Hideyoshi forces landed with another army in the north. A huge army of 170,000 men that marched unchallenged until the castle of Taka. Completely outnumbered, the 15,000 Shimazu forces were encircled, but even so, 5,000 Shimazu soldiers managed to cut through the Hideyoshi's army encirclement and run. After a long chase, the 5,000 brave Shimazu soldiers took the decision to give their lives in a final unexpected assault against the 170,000 enemies. They fought ferociously to the end. Now, Hideyoshi marched to the capital of Kagoshima for the final siege. After a long siege, the vastly outnumbered Shimazu made peace with Hideyoshi after an exchange of hostages and pledging their loyalty. In 1590, Hojo also surrendered to Hideyoshi after the siege of Odawara Castle. Tokugawa, who led the final attack, was rewarded with the Hojo territory in exchange with his old territory. Ieyasu accepted the reward since Kanto Plain was far more rich than his old provinces. He established his base of operations in a small town named Edo that will later be known as Tokyo. Later that year, Date Masamune also allied with Hideyoshi and helped him take control of the entire north. Thus, in 1590, the entire Japan was finally under the control of a single man, Toyotomi Hideyoshi. In the next episode, we will see the further ambitions of Hideyoshi and the end of Sengoku Jidai period of Japan. Thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed. See you in the next episode.